My Lords, I was going to make a very similar point, but I think that we do have to consider the serious consequences of the government effectively turning banks into de facto government inspectors, as well as the unintended consequences, such as those in relation to publicly exposed persons. And goodness knows that has not gone well. I mean, it has created all sorts of chaos. So I am very anxious about private institutions being asked to do effectively the government's dirty work in many instances, and so I am anxious about that. I did want to query, though, about the banks being able to charge for the hard work that they do via Schedule 5, Paragraph 8, in which there's a provision for the bank to be able to deduct a fee from the debtor's account to meet its reasonable costs for complying with the order, which I think is a ridiculous situation, because that amounts to a state-backed approval of funds being taken directly from bank accounts of private customers for dealing with administrative retrieval of overpayments. And I think that, and by the way, the maximum amount that could be charged by banks would be set by the Secretary of State via regulations, which again is also not reassuring. But although I do not want the banks to be used, I also don't want the banks to then be in a situation where it can charge for its use of their own clients for doing the job that government has demanded that they do. I just feel very queasy about all this. Just in relation to the discrimination point, if it is the case that these measures identify a range of type of client of the bank who is causing more trouble than they're worth having, the obvious decision will be to debank. It makes perfect sense that they would just think, just like every private sector organisation that think, do I really want people on benefits living in my house? We've seen this kind of discrimination time and again, and there is a serious unintended consequence danger here that I do think the government's got to take seriously.